Thanks for joining us on Africa Independent Television, AIT. Welcome, as always, to Democracy Today. I am Ijoma, or Samo. On Thursday, March 11, 2021, the National Reconciliation Committee of the People's Democratic Party, led by the immediate past Senate President, Dr. Bukola Saraki, met with the National Working Committee, NWC, of the party, and governors elected on the platform of the PDP to take stock of the progress made in its reconciliatory moves as the clock ticks towards 2023 elections. In the meeting, discussions centered on the growing concerns by many party chieftain and members over what could be best described as worrisome internal crises rocking the PDP in various states and zones across the country, even at a time when a National Reconciliation Committee is employing all conceivable channels to ensure that all feuding groups bury their hatchets and promote spirit of oneness. Some political watchers have said the PDP is not acting like a formidable opposition party that should give the ruling APC a run for its money, even at a time citizens are openly agitating for a strong, principled and visionary leadership that will institutionalize the culture of good governance. Some have openly expressed disappointment, stating that the people have taken up the challenge of questioning government inadequacies in governance instead of the opposition politicians within the PDP. Some forces within the PDP are of the view that the Uche Secondus-led National Working Committee is incapable of reversing the electoral misfortune of PDP. An agitation for the injection of fresh blood with bold ideas is being promoted. This shall be our discussion on the program tonight as we speak with some PDP faithful on what the party is bringing on board as moves towards 2023 general elections begin. Stay with us, but let's quickly take some political developments. On Saturday, March 10, 2021, Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki raised the alarm over Nigeria's financial trouble, particularly given the continued shrinking oil revenue, which made the federal government print about 60 billion naira to augment allocation shared to states in the months of March. And remember that Governor Obaseki is a graduate of economics from the premier university, the University of Ibadan. Obaseki spoke at a program in Benin. He holds the view that by December this year, the country's total borrowing would be in excess of 15 to 16 trillion. Let's listen to him.
My brothers and sisters, I am an economist. I'm an investment banker. We are in trouble. Huge financial trouble. First, what we used to rely on, crude oil. Forget what you are seeing now at $70, $60 a barrel. It is only a mirage. It's only a question of time. Because the major oil companies, Shell, Chevron, who are the ones producing, they are no longer investing as much in oil. Chevron is now one of the world's largest investors in alternative fuel. Shell is pulling out of Nigeria. So in another year or so, where will we find this money that we go to Abuja to share every month? Last month, we got FAC for March. The federal government printed an additional 50 to 60 billion to top up for us to share. We say remove subsidy. They say no. This April, next week again, we'll go to Abuja, we will share. By the end of this year, our total borrowings, the total we have borrowed is going to be in excess of 15 to 16 trillion. And my worry is that we wake up one day, like Argentina, the Naira will be 1,000, 2,000, it will be moving. Because we don't, you can imagine a family, you don't have money coming in, you're just borrowing and borrowing and borrowing without any means or idea of how to pay back. And nobody is looking at that. Everybody is looking at 2023. Everybody is blaming Mr. President as if he's a magician. So that change in the world economy, which is now affecting Nigeria, is going to be one of the major factors that will affect our politics going forward, whether we like it or not.
And in a swift reaction, the federal government dismissed as untrue the comments by the Edo State Governor, Godwin Obaseki, that it printed 60 billion naira in March to support federal allocation to states. The federal government said Obaseki's worry on the rising debt profile of the country is not necessary, as the country's debt is still within sustainable limits. The Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, said these on Wednesday while responding to questions by State House correspondent on Governor Obaseki's statement of at the end of the weekly Federal Executive Council meeting chaired by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo.
The issue that has been raised by the Edo State Governor for me is very, very sad, because it is not a fact. What we distribute at FAC is revenue that is generated, and the FAC distribution revenue is a public information. We publish it. So it's revenue generated by the FRS, the customs, the NMPC that we distribute at FAC. So it is not true to say we printed money to distribute at FAC. It is not true. On the issue of the borrowing, the Nigerian debt is still within sustainable limits. What we need to do, as I've said several times, is to improve our revenue, to enhance our capacity to service not only our debt obligations, but to service the needs of running government on a day-to-day basis. So our debt, currently at about 23% to GDP, is at a very sustainable level. You can look at all the reports that you see from multilateral institutions. Those facts are stated to be.
To react to the statement by the Edo State Governor. And let's quickly let you know that a fierce debate on whether or not the National Assembly has the constitutional power to legislate on matters in the concurrent legislative list ensued inside the hallowed chambers of the Nigerian Senate on Wednesday, as lawmakers engaged in a battle of words on the desirability of enacting a new law to establish the National Food Reserve Agency.
The federal government on the same subject matter. And on the issue of agriculture, I refer us to the concurrent legislative list, paragraph H, that talks about industrial, commercial, or agricultural development. It made express provision as to the extent and amplitude of the Federal National Assembly law power.
The Food Reserve Agency is a federal government affair. National Food Reserve Agency. States can have their own. They can make law and set up Food Reserve Agency. But it doesn't prevent the federal government from doing the same thing or the national government.
Chairman, it will not cost us anything to step it down and do the needful so that once after we are all in support of this, but let us not again embarrass ourselves. Thank you, Mr. President.
Mr. President, today is Wednesday. The next sitting day will be Tuesday. I don't think it will be too late. The establishment of this agency is so urgent that between now and Tuesday, if it is not passed, then there will be full crisis in this country. Mr. President, my humble appeal, I want to know what this, my learned friend is talking about. Because he's raising serious constitutional issues. But sentiments cannot counter effectively.
This is taken from the perspective of national food security. And if you look at national food security, you cannot say, oh, a state is the one to provide all the food. No. It is a system designed to ensure that at all times, a country is able to guarantee that food will be supplied and available to its members. If this is true, then where do you take the primary purpose of governance to mean the welfare and security of the citizens? Can you talk about...
Nobody is saying a state cannot make laws in regard to subject matter. But if they dare do, and the law they make, it goes in conflict with the laws made by the National Assembly in regard to the same subject matter, the laws will make supersede. That's the position of the Constitution of the Federal Government of Nigeria.
We should rather legislate to protect the country by way of ensuring that there is food reserve at any time, then allow it just open like this for anybody to just maybe legislate, especially at the state level, which I'm sure will be looking up to the federal government for some kind of support, some kind of assistance.
And we'll just at this moment quickly go for a short break, and when we come back, we'll be going for our discussion. Stay with us.
Did you know that AIT's social media handles have all changed? If you are one of the millions of our followers on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, this is introducing to you AIT's new official and rebranded social media handles. Like or follow us now on our Facebook page, Official AIT Live. If you're on Twitter, switch to our new handle at Official AIT Live and activate the notification button to get breaking news and updates on the go. For exclusive short videos and photo news, follow our Instagram account at Official AIT Live. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Official AIT Live, and enjoy live streaming of news and your favorite programs, where you can also watch our broadcast materials at your own convenience. Note that Official AIT Live is the only authentic social media profile name with all the handles on our website ait.live, with a notification prompt to accept and receive breaking news and updates on the go. Log on to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube platforms on your smartphone, tablet device, laptop, and desktop to follow us now. AIT.live. On air, online, online.
Thank you for remaining with us. The question is, what is going on within the opposition People's Democratic Party? Is the party ready for 2023 polls? We have to quickly find out, as we have joining me in the studio, a former spokesman of the 2019 PDP presidential candidate, Kassim Afebua. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you. And we shall also be having the National Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Kola Ologbojiyan, who is already in the studio. He will be joining us in a short while. He will join the discussion. Thank you for coming, and we are waiting for Kola to join us in the studio. He's around the studio at the moment. So let's quickly just go. I read your write-ups, and I saw some of the points that you noted, and what you're worried about. But I can find out from you what the PDP is up to towards 2023. What are their plans?
Well, thank you very much for the opportunity of this interaction with you. The write-ups you spoke about only captured some of my observations as a member of the party, like a clarion call on members of the party and the leaders of the party to wake up to the responsibility of charting a roadmap towards 2023. Because you cannot be a party, particularly a strong opposition party, if you are not alive to your responsibilities, if you are not able to articulate your roadmap, speak to issues, counter government policies, the ruling party government policies, provide an alternative policies and roadmap so that Nigerians will begin to build hope in the opposition party. As it is now, the PDP, under the leadership of its present chairman, Prince Uche Secondus, is one that is in a state of inertia. And when you are in a state of inertia, all creativity initiatives are operating at the lowest ebb. The capacity to manage the party, to put it in good stead, towards the challenges of gaining power back in 2023 is waning by the day. And so I did write-ups to send a wake-up call to the leaders of the party. One, there are quite a number of issues that I do not agree with. Number one is the fact that the leadership are not cultivating the party in states where we do not have governors. I can tell you that if you check your records, Uche Secondus and the NWC members have never visited a state where there is no PDP governor, to even motivate and stimulate the leadership over there and see what is happening around those states. The party is losing members by the day. Benga Daniel left the party. Former Speaker Dogara left the party. Dimeji Bamkole left the party. David Umahi, governor of Ebonyi State, left the party. Quite a number of other persons. Just yesterday, some persons left Nasarawa House of Assembly from PDP to APC. A party, the APC, a party that has become, a monster kind of, that has run the country aground with poor policy formation, implementation, and what have you, is gaining momentum more than an opposition party that should be the reservoir of hope for the average Nigerian. So my worry is that we cannot continue to remain docile to the kind of inertia, economic doldrums, economic conodrums, poor policy formation, failure in terms of leadership, incompetencies, incapacities on behalf of the APC leadership or APC federal government. And you are watching them hands akimbo as if nothing is amiss. Nigerians want a platform that can resonate hope, that can ginger them so that in 2023 they begin to sing bye-bye to APC government. But we have a leadership that is castrated by its own incapacity and incompetence, and they want us to begin to sing hallelujah song for them in preparation for 2023. No, I want to belong to a political party that will have the capacity to contend for power. Power is not served a la carte. You have to try to grab it. But this leadership is so laid back, so unproductive. We have crises in so many states: Osun State, Yobe State, Jigawa State. Only the Northwest crisis, the Northwest Congress ended up in crisis in Kaduna. You have Ekiti, you have Osun, you have Plateau. All of these places, there are problems. Even Cross River, the same thing. This is the same way we are going to sit down and Ayade will wake up one day and tell us that he's leaving the party to join APC.
Is that your fear? Is that your fear?
People are leaving.
Is that your fear that you're losing?
We shouldn't be losing people. We should be gaining people because APC has not lived up to expectations. That's my worry.
But do you know, somehow some people will ask the question, if you're not a member of the NWC, how do you know that they are not doing what you say they're doing? I recall that they've been going around states, but what I don't know is the point you raised, that they've not visited states where they do not have governors.
Ijoma, I am not just an active political player. I have my ears on the ground. I'm on the ground. National politics, local politics. You don't tell me stories. You see, the point is, if they are doing well, we will feel it. I go to places, I go to meetings, and people tell us, you people are not playing opposition politics. We are not hearing you. What is the position of PDP on the 2021 budget? Can you tell me? What is our position? What is our blueprint on insecurity? If they give us power tomorrow, say, take, PDP, take. How are we going to curb insecurity that has taken over Nigeria? This is the fastest growing industry in Nigeria. Kidnapping, insurgency, and what have you. What is our position on restructuring? Have they sat down to articulate the issues? What are the fears of different geopolitical zones? How are we able to put all of this together? What is the roadmap? as a party, you must have blueprints that you can speak to. If you are not forming a shadow cabinet, so that people begin to see how you behave differently from the APC, at least you should have a think tank somewhere that will be responding to these issues. But this leadership, to me, is castrated, and that is my worry.
Do you know?
For the benefit of the viewers, I will have loved Kola Ologbondiyan, the spokesman of the party, to be seated here with me so that we can interrogate issues. I don't like the kind of ambush of inviting me here and he's sitting somewhere in the studio.
How do you know Kola Ologbondiyan? I've not even seen him.
By the time he listens to me,
I've not seen him.
He will come here and be contradicting.
I have not even seen Kola Ologbondiyan.
And I won't have the
Mr. February, we are not here to talk about whether Kola is in the studio or Kola is not in the studio.
I would like us to interrogate
no,
this.
He's definitely going to be. He's going to be on the program.
The rest of the even if you cut me off here, I will be here till 8 o'clock.
Kola will be on the program. But Mr. Kasim, there's a question somebody threw at me when I talked about your write-up, and I saw it, I read it, and I sent it to some persons. And the person asked, is Kasim still a member of the PDP? He was in Edo State, he worked against this party, and he has been suspended. Okay. So why is he talking for the party?
You see, when people operate from the realm of ignorance, this is what you have. I took a decision in Edo primarily to support the opposition candidate in Edo because of the way and manner that the Secondus-led NWC imposed Obaseki on us. Because we were on ground, I'm older than Governor Obaseki in this party, in PDP, in Edo State and anywhere. We were on ground, popularizing the party, articulating the issues, and going around, did congresses, did everything. All of a sudden, Obaseki came to say he has a state fund, and before you say Jack Robinson, he became the candidate. I had aspiration.
That's where I was going to, because people said you wanted to be the deputy
of course, nothing is
governor,
I'm
and because they didn't give it to you, that's why you left.
I'm even qualified to be the governor of the state. So if I opted to be the deputy governor, and it's an aspiration that is legitimate under the Constitution of Nigeria. So without consulting anybody, without consulting us, they just say boom, and Obaseki was it. Now you remember that even we can refer to the NWC as tax collectors. And so all of that, I wouldn't even want to go to all of this. But the point is, I'm still a full bona fide member of the PDP in Edo State, and in my ward, Ward 5, Okpela, where I come from, I was given suspension for 1 month, which terminated September 2nd, even before the election of September 19, 2020. So anybody who is talking that if you still remember this thing, is just does not understand what obtains presently with me and the party. If I'm not a member of the PDP, I won't be expressing these fears. And because for me, the APC is not providing leadership at the center to the admiration of Nigerians. There is crass incompetence, there is policy failure, and all of that. PDP, so many sins I will count against the Secondus-led PDP. And that's why I will have loved one of the members of the NWC to be sitting here with me. They collect money from salaries of staff in the name of taxes. They don't remit them. For how many years it is difficult for PDP to come up with an audited statement of account to submit to INEC. They have to be concocted figures and all of that. I have seen documents in PDP in terms of their transactions which are less than noble. And if you say you are an opposition party and you want to take on a ruling party for certain infractions of committing lethargic offenses, you must be able to live above board, live by example, publish your audited report. I told you the other day, I told in another platform, that when I was trying to run in 2019, they told me that we can't pay money into the party's account that is under garnishee, because there are so many debts being owed, litigations and what have you. And when money is coming in from sale of home and all of that, before I said Jack Robinson, they empty them into chartering jets, going here and there and all of that. See, we need to be serious as a country if we want to move forward. This is democracy. And democracy is conversational, it promotes dialogue, it is participatory, and people must have the ability to interact and interrogate leadership, whether within the party or outside the party. Because I won't derive the morality to be criticizing a ruling party, APC, if I know that what I'm blaming the APC for, my party is also committing at a lower level in terms of NWC or NEC or what have you. So I want the leadership of PDP, as it is now, if they are honorable, they should just resign. So that the leaders and the owners of the party can come together, the stakeholders can come together, brainstorm and choose, you can even choose an ad hoc leadership to manage 2023 so that we will be able to defeat this phlegmatic leadership of the APC. But if we continue like this in this kind of manner, we are just going to be rotated on the same axis, and just like the name indicates, secondus. That means we will come second again.
So the problem you have now, your own fear is that Secondus-led NWC is weak. They cannot battle with the ruling party in 2023.
Yes,
but do you know that some persons feel that yes, you have a good point that you are making, but because you're not consistent, you worked with the Adams Oshomole government. Nobody knows whether you left the APC to join the PDP after then, and you came back again to the PDP, and now you're back to PDP.
Let me tell you, I am not the itinerant politician. I like to play to a very large extent politics of principles that I don't see infractions within my own formation, and I want to embrace it. I was part and parcel of those who birthed this present government. In 2015, at least I worked in the media committee and all of that. And my last place of work was the APC Governors Forum. I don't hide it. But I couldn't belong to a party that was running away from the details of its manifesto. APC manifesto captured restructuring as #1 item. We brainstormed on this restructuring, set up a committee headed by Malam El-Rufai, governor of Kaduna State, and we came up with a workable recommendation that will help to translate what you have in your manifesto into practice. The powers that be, just dump it. The thing is gathering dust. Nothing is being done. All the things that are itemized in APC manifesto, so beautiful programs that were captured, none is being implemented. I can say that without fear of contradiction. Now, within the APC, I was criticizing them. So anybody who says I'm not consistent does not understand my kind of politics. I was criticizing them, and each time I'm criticizing, they say, I'm Oshomole's commissioner for information. I say, no, I have my own life. I have my own this thing. I've been, even this PDP, I was part and parcel of the formation from G34. I was there as a staff of the national headquarters of PDP. I participated in writing the establishment manual and so many other things. I took minutes of so many meetings. So nobody can tell me a story about PDP. I left the APC August 8, 2018, when I found that it was no longer convenient for me to be criticizing them every time people are raising concern and all of that. I said, okay, fine. I joined the PDP. And I played, and the same people who are talking, they put me in the presidential campaign as one of the spokespersons. And I discharged my responsibility to the best of my ability. I wanted the PDP to actually defeat the APC because I felt that APC wasn't living up to expectation. Until today, they are not living up to expectation. Kidnapping has become the fastest growing industry. Companies are closing down. The new companies that they are forming is banditry and kidnapping. Insecurity, insurgency everywhere. So, as an opposition party, you must respond, you must engage these people. They shot at your governor in Benue State. All you could do is just to issue one dry, boring statement. That's trash. And what we did in APC in 2015, they was deliberately they discredited the Jonathan-led government. You know, President Buhari, as old as he was then, even older now, was always going on protest march on the field, on the streets. Nigerians were saying anything but Jonathan. And at the end of the day, we were able to defeat an incumbent government. And now you are sitting down comfortably because you feel that you are a chairman of a party or NWC. You are just feeding fat on what have you. I want to put it to them. They should please come out clean on the resources of the party, the finances. Because 2019 alone, if they don't make at all, they will make close to 10 billion. And this is from sales of form and what have you. So much money. Even on this Anambra alone, almost 300 million has been raised. Because 16 aspirants are contesting, 13 are paid, 3 are women. So it's free of charge. So 13 multiplied by 21. You know the figure. 5 million to the state.
So what happened? So there's a question I want to ask. If you left the APC because you felt at that time you're criticizing the APC and nobody is doing anything about it, and they see you as an enemy within, now you have started criticism of the PDP National Working Committee. If at the end of the day, the Secondus-led NWC takes the PDP into 2023, you will leave. That's what it means.
If they take PDP to 2023,
then that means you will leave the party.
It's not going to happen.
How?
I can assure you that.
Do you want to pull him out of the place?
No, it's not about pulling out. His tenure statutorily ends December 9. So that is about, even before then, to be too late because there are amendments going on the Electoral Act that candidates of parties may emerge February or latest May, prior to the election year. So if you have that, no party will want crisis close to its
a general election
of an internal election that will produce the candidate of the party. So the honorable thing for them to do is for them to leave. If they don't leave, there are procedures in the party who pass a vote of no confidence and all of that. I'm not alone in this fight. I have quite a number of people who share in my sentiment, they share in my position. And this position is altruistic. I'm telling you because I don't want to remain in a perpetual opposition. I want to be in government. I want to be able to impart on my community of Okpala. One of the reasons why I also criticized Obaseki why I didn't support it was because he neglected my community in terms of road construction that he promised us 4 times. So I am consistent on the issues that I am I'm raising. And you cannot, you see, they keep talking anti-party, anti-party. What happens when a party does not consult the stakeholders? Is that not anti-members or anti-stakeholders? A party, a member has right to participate. You use your resources to pursue, to support the programs for the party. When it is time for decision making, they impose decision on top of your head. I'm not that kind of person.
All right.
So I want a situation where people will be able to interrogate issues, ask questions, and be able to form and take a decision holistically that will impart on the well-being of the party and the members of that party.
Okay,
At any rate, I've concluded by tomorrow. I hope that my lawyers will not disappoint me again.
You are taking the NWC to court.
I've concluded my petition. We are interested in seeing the receipts of transactions, financial transactions in the party. I'm interested in seeing what came in and what went out. That is one of the responsibilities of EFCC. The chairman of EFCC should also be man enough to be able to look into the books of and accounts of political parties, not necessarily PDP. And INEC has a statutory role under the Electoral Act to also look at that. There's Procurement Act, which also is binding on political parties, and the Fiscal Responsibility Act. All of this put together, we'll be able to articulate it. So what the draft I saw today of my petition, I wasn't comfortable with it. I needed to add a few things because I have a few documents so that I will tender it to EFCC if it's ready by tomorrow. And I want to hand it over to the chairman of EFCC myself.
Okay, Kassim Afebwa. I think we need to talk to the National Publicity Secretary.
I will want the Publicity Secretary to come and meet me here.
But your session is over.
I'm not going to leave there.
Your session is over. So,
you can black me out, but I'm not going to leave this studio.
Okay, so we'll just quickly go on a short break, and we'll be having the National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, is a member of the NWC, to come react to some of the statements credited. He made here now, not even credited. He made it live on the program now. So let's take this short break, and we'll be having Kola Ologbondiyan. Stay with us.
Did you know that AIT's social media handles have all changed? If you are one of the millions of our followers on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, this is introducing to you AIT's new official and rebranded social media handles. Like or follow us now on our Facebook page, Official AIT Live. If you're on Twitter, switch to our new handle at Official AIT Live and activate the notification button to get breaking news and updates on the go. For exclusive short videos and photo news, follow our Instagram account at Official AIT Live. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Official AIT Live, and enjoy live streaming of news and your favorite programs, where you can also watch our broadcast materials at your own convenience. Note that Official AIT Live is the only authentic social media profile name with all the handles on our website ait.live, with a notification prompt to accept and receive breaking news and updates on the go. Log on to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube platforms on your smartphone, tablet device, laptop, and desktop to follow us now. AIT.live. On air.
All right, thank you very much for remaining with us. Remember, to be part of this program, all you need to do is to follow us on our social media platform. Twitter handles are open. Our official handle is at Democracy2Day with a double Y. You can send in your message, and then we'll take some of the messages before the end of the program. Like we said earlier, we have the National Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party, Kola Ologbondiyan, right here in the studio. Thank you very much for coming on the show.
Thank you very much,
yes,
IG.
Yeah, the one thing that I picked is that the NWC, which you are a member, is weak and cannot face the ruling party. They are going nowhere in 2023. So the likes of Kasim Afegbo has already said that your NWC should go at this moment.
That should sound, even you, IJ, that would sound very strange to you. That anybody will claim, anybody at all, will claim that the leadership of Uche Secondus, of the NWC, of the PDP, is not functional. In Edo State, we went to Edo State, and we won the election in Edo State. And as you know, I'm not here to respond to Kazim. I am here to respond to issues
okay.
and facts.
Okay.
You understand? We went to Edo State, where he comes from, and we won the election in Edo State.
What happened in Edo State?
You understand? We knew we won the election in Edo State. The last election we just held in Delta State. We won the election in Delta State. We went to Abia State. We won an election in Abia State. So when people like him make claim that, oh, the NWC is not functional, what is the expectation of the NWC? And it is totally strange to us. Some of the allegations that he made here, we don't have an audited account. Is it possible not to have an audited account? Audited account that was cleared by INEC, that has been submitted to INEC?
But let me ask you this. He said
do you have rules?
Hold on.
Do you have rules here?
Your NWC, from what he said your NWC do not visit states where they do not have governments.
It's not correct.
So which of the states have you visited?
Which state have we not visited? Didn't we visit Sokoto State? Sorry, didn't we visit Kano State? Do we have a governor in Kano State? Have we not gone to Kaduna State? Do we have a governor in Kaduna State? People just sit down and make... People just... I'm not responding to him.
No, go ahead. Just go ahead.
If you cannot organize a simple session, I'll take a walk.
No, you don't do that here because you don't know what is going on. The fact that he's talking, it may be possible that he's not on air. So why you? If you want to make a point, you make a point.
So it is strange to say that, oh, we only go to states where we have governors. What are the states that don't have governors that we visit? Does he understand the working of the party as in respect of states? Does he understand it? He doesn't have an understanding. You ran a party, but you didn't run PDP. You claim to have run the party, but you didn't run PDP. So for us, the People's Democratic Party, we are working with our state chapters. And in the state chapters where we have challenges, it is manifestly clear that it was not as a result of NWC actions.
That those crises,
because politics is all about contestation for power. And people who are interested in power, when they juggle for positions, there must definitely be contestations. So it is strange to say that, oh, where there are internal crises, you want to blame the NWC. Our duty as NWC is to ensure reconciliation, is to ensure harmony, is to ensure peace within our party. And we are achieving that.
But do you think the PDP as it is now can battle? Because Nigerians are saying, are already complaining that they are not playing a good opposition, playing a good role as an opposition party. Can they battle the APC in 2023 as it is now?
IJ, listen. When we were elected into office in 2017, PDP had only 10 or 11 states. We went into election at the end of 2019, we had 17 states under the same leadership. Before one was stolen in the Supreme Court and another decamped.
How many do you have now?
So 17, if you remove, we had 17 states, and one was stolen, one went to join APC on the ground that was very personal to him, not to the party. Not because the party had inactions or had actions against him. So we have 15 states as we speak. So how can you come from nowhere and claim that, oh, we cannot fight APC? If we couldn't fight APC, and as a matter of fact, Nigerians out there know, and they understand the fact that that presidential election of 2019 was won by the People's Democratic Party.
Really?
Yes.
But that was not what INEC said. INEC didn't say that.
Which INEC?
That has the power to declare winner.
Which INEC? Which INEC are you talking about? I don't want to go into that one, but it is known. Because we knew how they seize power and all the manipulations that happen. It might come on air, Kazim can come on air and say that it never happened.
it won't matter to us. Well, we have the facts in our party. So for us, it is when people come around and say that, oh, can PDP win this election? We couldn't win the election. We moved the party from a situation of 10 states to 17 within the space of 2 years. Within the space of between 2017 and 2019. Within the space of 2 years.
No, but Mr. Kola Ologbondiyan, you know, the APC is going about saying that most PDP governors are moving to the party. One has moved. Even last week here, we also heard that the Zamfara state governor will leave. Ayade threatened your party. He's a governor in your party. And he threatened the party that if they are not careful, it was an open statement.
Is Ayade the first governor that will threaten
There are
PDP?
other governors in the PDP. Are you not worried?
We are not worried.
That members are leaving
We
your
are not
party?
worried as
And
a
it's
party.
just
No members are
a
leaving.
pre-election
All these are mind games being made up by those who claim to be PDP but are doing APC.
So what have you done as an end of
what have we not done as Matawale?
To see that your people remain?
Wait now. Didn't they rumor that Matawale was leaving the party? Has Matawale left the party? Even didn't they rumor that Governor Makinde of Oyo State will leave the party? Has he left the party? Are they not carrying rumor about now that Ayade will leave the party? Has he left the party? I listened to Kazeem Afegbua, and I heard him saying that Gbenga Daniel left the party. Gbenga Daniel left the party the night after the presidential election in 2019. He didn't just leave. Dimeji Bankole left PDP and even went to another party, ADP. He was talking about Umahi. Yes, Dogara left the party. He didn't leave because of as a result of he had contestation in his home state of Bauchi. And leaders of the party were making efforts to intervene, and he left the party. And you talk about Governor Umahi. I had to continue to speak about the same issue of Governor Umahi. Governor Umahi left because he claimed that he had seen injustice in the party, and we said there is no injustice in our party, and he left. And since he left, how many governors had followed or had left the party? The party should be allowed to concentrate on the reconciliatory effort that is ongoing. It should be allowed to concentrate on achieving peace. It should be allowed to concentrate on unity. How can somebody, when we had an election confronting us in Edo State, who abandoned the party and went to work with his boss, Oshiomhole, and also went to work with the candidate of Oshiomhole, Pastor Eze Iyamu, and the People's Democratic Party under this same leadership went into that Edo election and defeated them all together? Then you come around and say that the party is not functional. You come around and say the election is not that the party is not functional. I think IJ.
Mr. Kola Ologbondiyan, there's a question I need to ask you. No, you can't tell me what to do
I want to make
because I'm still the anchor of this program. You can't tell me that. Now, Mr. Kola Ologbondiyan, there's a question. You made a statement here that you are aware, as a PDP spokesperson, you are aware of what played out in 2019 election and how this government now, the APC-led federal government, came into power. And you don't think that you need to do extra more for someone who could do the otherwise that you have in mind to unseat you in 2015 and also came back to power? You don't think that the PDP need to do extra more so that don't happen in 2023? You don't think so? You don't think that the PDP needs to be more vocal and needs to appear more, be more visible if they ever have planned to defeat the APC?
As we speak today, if election held today, and it is free and fair, PDP will win the election.
Really?
PDP will win the election. Because even you that you are seated here and talking to me, in our private conversations, you are not going to vote for APC.
I don't even vote in Nigeria. That's where you
well, you vote.
I'm a journalist. I work on election day.
So
a journalist don't vote. You are also a journalist, and you know that we don't vote in Nigeria.
Just the same way that you and I are engaging.
You are not in my mind.
Just the same way that you and I are engaging.
Even when we have private conversations.
Nigerians out there are engaging, and they are tired of the misrule. They are tired of the misgovernance. They are tired of the pains. They are tired of the failures of this administration. And as such, they ain't going to vote. However, it is misplaced and it is totally wrong because you are not within our party. You don't know the plans that we are drawing.
Then because I'm
you
not
don't-
a politician.
You don't
I
know.
can't-
You don't know. You don't know the
Mr.
actions
Ologbodio, Mr. Ologbodio,
that
I
we
want
are
to ask a
providing.
final question.
And as a result of that,
Let me
it is
ask you
totally
this.
misplaced for you to sit down and say that, can we win election? Why can't we win election?
Mr.
Can we not
Ologbodio, I
win
need to
election?
ask this question. If you think that it is misplaced for me to ask you if you can win election, how many APC members have you been able to poach? APC is picking your members. How many have you been able to poach into your party?
All these are mind games. All these issues of APC is poaching. Who did they poach? Don't they have names? Don't they have names? The people that APC poached from APC, from PDP, don't they have names? Mention their names now. Let's hear their names. The candidate of APC in the 2019 election in Anambra State, Honorable John Nwoye, defected to the People's Democratic Party. Did we hear that? Have you showcased that? And we can go on and on of members of APC. You wait for our e-registration exercise and you see what will happen. It is from that e-registration exercise that APC will know that it is gone out of this country. And as a matter of fact, we will not allow anybody, whoever the person is, to import crisis into our People's Democratic Party. We will not do that.
Now,
Last weekend, all our governors were in a meeting with the national chairman of our party. 2 weeks ago, NWC was in a meeting with BOT. We just had an election in Oyo, internal democracy, concerning our Congress in the Southwest. We had an election in Osogbo. It was seamless. We had Congress in the North Central, in Makurdi, under supervision of Governor Tom and our leaders like Saraki and others. It was seamless. We have been achieving all these as NWC. So if you don't put the home together, if you don't ensure unity at home, how do you go out to go and engage? So these are the issues. But when people like Kazim come to talk, he doesn't remember. He will fail to remember. He will fail to remember.
Mr. Fegwa,
he will fail to remember how he betrayed a party he claimed to belong to. He said he's going to EFCC. He claimed he's going to EFCC. On Sunday, on politics on Sunday in channels, he said on Monday he was going to EFCC. We will meet you at EFCC. And we are not going to limit this to the EFCC. We will drag you to court based on the allegation that you have made against the members of the NWC. You think it's only you that can come on air and come and open your mouth?
Mr. Kola Ologbodio, we do not have much time now. Let me just quickly take
it's just a total betrayal of trust.
If you have your messages, let's quickly take one or two that we have here. I begin with this one coming from Moye Anthony. Moye Anthony is tweeting. He said, would there be 2023? This is a question every well-meaning Nigeria should ponder about, because every economic and political indices is taking otherwise. He said Kasim Afegbua is as confused and confusion. He is just a fair weather politician, always looking for easy pecuniary gains by jumping between two leading parties. I will advise him to join other upcoming political parties to actualize his dream. That is coming from Moye Anthony there. That's the much we can take. I would like to say a big thank you to our guests tonight. Thank you very much, Kasim Afegbua, for coming on to the show. And also thank you, Kola Ologbodio. We do not have much time. Until tomorrow, 7 p.m., good night.